If those trees could talk to you, what do you think the trees would say to you? I said, I could hear them. Help me. Help me. They're cutting me down. Come and help me.
That was all forest like 3 months ago.
What they gonna put there?
That's where the LNG plant's going. So we said no to here, so they moved it, a couple hundred yards, and that's where it's going.
And that plant would have been so destructive for the fish habitat that are here. We are fish people. We live off the land. It would have been disastrous. So together we stopped it with this pipeline. It has divided family. It's divided husband and wife. Some agree, some disagree. And so there's always tension there. I'm not against industry. I'm not against that. None of us are. But can we do it safely? They brought in the RCMP. Money was offered. They figure money doesn't always talk, not with our people. It could not in this case. It didn't work. They offered us over $1 billion, and we said no. You wonder why there's global warming and floods. You're going to hear those trees talk. You're going to hear the fish say, protect me. You see that? That was Cecile. Yeah, he's hunting fish. He's telling us. You're telling the truth.
When you drive along the Coquihalla Highway, if you're driving from Vancouver up to the interior, and you would see the horrible destruction that the Trans Mountain Pipeline has done. And it goes under the South Thompson River that you see here, and goes under and then comes across. Then it continues over onto the other side. So there's a lot of impacts to this heavy oil that would have on the water, the environment, the animals, and the people. But it seems like the federal government and big industry, foreign industry companies don't care about that. Yes, we are defending our land from this extractivism, from this man-made crisis. That's where we're protecting our Mother Earth from. So that's what it means to be a land defender. And it's not easy to do because you're not going along with the 1% government agenda anymore. It's really important to pay attention to what's happening with this man-made climate crisis. It's right at our doorstep now. You look out from this cabin here, you see how the earth has been just scorched totally. I mean, right to a sterile. So they took away our land, they took away our rights, they took away our children to residential schools. So they took away the language, culture, and the ways of knowing, and severed them from their families. So they utterly destroyed our people inside out. And so when you sever that, makes it a recipe for the government to be able to take advantage, and foreign oil companies and big conglomerate companies, corporations, to do that to our people.
I heard it from our ancestors that one day that our fish, what we hunt for, is going to slowly fade away. That's what we're afraid of, that one day we're going to have fish floating along the shore here from up above because of the contamination of the pipeline. It's going to affect our culture because we lived on it for almost 1,000 years, you know, learning the ropes of fishing and catching it and preparing it for home and all that. For the past 3 years, the water's been dropping lots. This year, there's less water than there was 2 years ago. And now, with the water going down so low that we have salmons literally struggling to get up the river now. It's a lot more hotter and it literally dries everything out. So now we've got a big fire behind our reserve. They almost called a evac here there last week.
In the distance, if you look at the tree line, it looks like if warriors were on their horses. Since I was a little girl, I used to imagine that was all of our ancestors on the back ridgeline of that mountain. It's really devastating. It's hard to understand how the world has changed so much from being a little girl like that. The world being so warm that it would cause a fire like this in our own backyard, you know, less than a kilometer from our home.
They say that we're impeding progress. Well, this is not progress, it's destruction. And people have to realize that it is their tax dollars that is doing this. These were living things at one point. Now they're discarded like on a battlefield after a war. It's not right. What our elders told us, said first, they're going to come for the animals, which is the fur trade. Second, they're going to come for the tree, which is forestry. Then they're going to come for the rocks, which is the minerals under the ground. And they're not going to give up till they ruin everything. But it's our job as humans, it's our job as chiefs, it's our job as Indigenous people to make sure that doesn't happen. Well, you know, that's a real conflict interest. You know, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, their retirement fund is tied to this project. So they're doing everything in their power to make sure it goes through. And it is sponsored by such banks as the Royal Bank of Canada, who funds these projects, the oil and gas industry. This one here is over 60% owned by KKR. And KKR actually has a security arm of it called Global Institute. And that Global Institute is run by David Petraeus. Now, David Petraeus is the general that was in charge of the Afghanistan, the Iraq. And then he became the head of the CIA in the United States. Because we've never ever agreed to this pipeline. All the hereditary chiefs, all the clans of our nation have said no. Their idea of actually consulting with us is force and buy people off.
Yeah.
You know, in our our experience as Indigenous people in so-called Canada. The police were the ones that were hand in hand with the Indian agents when they took our children to residential schools. And now we see the police hand in hand with industry. Pointing guns at us, arresting us, criminalizing us, Indigenous people, so that they can push industrial projects through our territories. Well, currently the pipeline is continuing construction. We're still here on the territories, and we are continuing to resist in whatever ways we can. They continue to be daily harassing and intimidating people here. The repression by the police is so much that we can't really do anything or move. I think there's been, a huge cost to the resistance. But in the end, I always think of my ancestors and what they sacrificed in order for us to be here, in order for us to even have something worth fighting for. And we have to make those sacrifices sometimes. We're training people to be out on the territories, engage in our cultural activities, our way of life, and to start documenting and mapping what's happening to our territories and what are the spots that are most critical to protect, and what do we have left for our future generations. In order to win in the long run, we need to build this capacity with our people. We need to build the infrastructure. We need to spread out on our territories, and we need to show other people how to do that too, which is what we're doing right now.
We're heading to do some trail work to build new trails. It's a natural process. It's a natural process for the young people to witness, to take part, and actually experience how we do the traditional hunting, trapping out here. My grandpa, my father, my uncles, they showed me the way out here, just being out here. And now my kids are following me. The tradition continues. It's the way it is.
And the choppers get word that we're out here. They come out, and while we're conducting our cultural activities, they like to circle and surveil us. They're just trying to intimidate us, but we're still here, so we'll always be here. Yeah, they won't scare us away from our territory. Yeah, I myself got arrested. They came in like militarized police, pointed the guns right at me. It's like making rape jokes and stuff like that, which is absolutely disgusting. And they dropped my charges, so I was able to finally come back.
So we don't resist, we just exist. That's all we do. That's what we are. They're the ones who resist. People wondering, what are we going to do next? We see what's happening. We are feeling what's happening out here. We see the changes.
Anything happens through this man-made crisis, our people will survive, but there are many that aren't going to survive because they don't know how to live off the land. They don't know how to take care of themselves in that way. They don't have the knowledge anymore. When I go to these World Climate Change Conference meetings, they talk about it, but they're actually not acting on it. So I really think it's left up to the people to really make those changes.
If anyone would like to add anything to the agenda?
We have to let them know that this is not over, and we have never surrendered. That's the important part. We have never surrendered. We've never stopped for a day. We meet every week, and we plan what we're doing next week. And that's what we're hoping to do here is get people back online and get stuff going again and let them know that this dance isn't over. You know, we just started the dance.
It is our job to defend our Mother Earth. And so we are still doing it to this day. Hey, hey, hey!
And if we stop talking, the governments will move in and think we don't care. Well, we do care. We do speak. And we will continue to speak. Speak for the trees and the land, the ocean, the fresh water, the rivers. We will still fight.
But we have to go to the next election. We have to tell people, do not vote for anyone who would support oil. Don't vote for anyone who would open up one more pipeline, because that's the other thing. We stop one pipeline, another one springs.
You need to make some decisions for your individual journey, and that's part of it. What path am I going to be going on? So, because there is another way.
When there's a chance to speak up, do it. When there's a chance to stand together, do it. Because that is what industry and elected officials are afraid of, people being together. So they'll do everything, and they'll invest billions of dollars into it to make sure that we don't stand together. But don't be bought off. Your heart shouldn't be bought. Your mind shouldn't be bought. You know what is good for you. Don't we all drink water? Don't we all breathe clean air? Don't we all need food?
For the leaders, for everybody in the world, I got news for you. You can't leave Earth. You're here to stay, you're here to die, you're here to get buried on Earth. So there's no way that you can get new water. There's no way you can undo all the toxic poisons. There's a point of no return sometimes.
Because we're now stronger, we're smarter, we're more strategic. We know so much because of the experiences that we've had. We all have, and we're born with, a warrior spirit. And when you are connected to your land, when you're connected to your ancestors the way that we are, there's no room for defeat.
Woo!